From CBS News Bay Area, this is the Morning Edition.
San Francisco's Carnival Festival is drawing big crowds to the Mission this weekend. At the same time, all that extra foot traffic is bringing business into a neighborhood that can definitely use it. And BART releases a gloomy financial outlook if the state doesn't step in with extra funding. And we remember those who gave their lives for our country on this Memorial Day weekend. Good morning. It is Sunday, May 28th. I'm Devin Feely. Let's start with a quick check of our weather with First Alert meteorologist Darren Pack.
We're certainly starting out this Sunday gray. A lot of high clouds out there. We've got a little bit of the marine layer. You're going to get a break in the clouds in the early afternoon. You see it? It's not too widespread. Most of these are high clouds, so it's not going to be like marine layer gray all day. And even by this point, the marine layer is basically melted back to the beaches. But we will see more high clouds throughout the day, and then the marine layer will build in by the early evening. What does this mean for temperatures? Well, for Carnival, we're not getting out of the upper 50s today in the city. I think you will see some breaks of blue sky, but most of the action out there will be under the clouds. And when you look at the daytime highs for everybody else, we're pretty much staying in the mid to upper 60s. That's as warm as most of us will be.
Thousands of people came out to enjoy the start of the annual Carnival Festival in San Francisco's Mission District. It is the start of a weekend of music, dancing, and delicious food. People that we spoke to said this is an opportunity for the community to come together.
Every culture, and you got Chinese people that learn salsa today. You got Filipinos that are learning how to do cha-cha-cha, and you got all kinds of people having fun and interacting.
Now, businesses in the neighborhood are hoping the influx of visitors will provide a much-needed boost. Betty Yu reports on the scene of this weekend's festival.
Ahead of Sunday's grand parade at Carnival, many small businesses, including restaurants here in the Mission, are already seeing a big boost in business. There was a constant sizzle on the grill at Filipino street food favorite Señor Sisig on Valencia Street Saturday. Supervisor Jerry Catch wasn't able to take much of a break.
You're in the middle of doing 8 different things right now.
Right.
Describe what your day has been like.
It's been really crazy, but you know what? It's kept us really busy and really going with the flow.
There was a constant line during the dinner rush.
Normal Saturdays are pretty steady, but today has been really hectic.
The 45th annual festival and parade promises to bring plenty of dancers and performers and colorful floats with multicultural themes to the Mission District.
I'd say it's incredibly important. The amount of people that it brings from around the city and around the Bay Area and beyond is incredible. It's a great representation of the Mission District, its diversity.
The festival, happening in the heart of the Mission, will feature a rich assortment of food, music, dance, art, and entertainment on multiple stages. And for the first time, there will be a skateboarding jam. The Mission District Merchants Association says activating the main streets will help with some of the neighborhood's challenges.
Really helps the cleanliness and safety aspect because there's a cleaning crew, there's people out and about, and there's just this general sense of safety. On some normal days and nights, it's a little challenging, and a lot of businesses have had issues and some have shut down, unfortunately.
Señor Sisig is prepared for an influx of customers. Its most popular items include the signature burrito and the crunchadilla.
It brings a lot of foot traffic over in our neighborhood, and having a lot of customers, and it helps out a lot of local businesses. So I honestly think it's a blessing,
Well, you can watch the Carnival Parade live today on our CBS News Bay Area live stream and on our sister station, KBCW. Our coverage starts on the stream at 9:30 a.m. and the parade kicks off at 10. The party continues up in wine country today. Saturday was day 2 of the Bottle Rock Music Festival. Thousands of people came out for the performances, the food, the blue skies of the Napa Valley. The top artists included Lizzo, Duran Duran, and Leon Bridges.
I love seeing the different demographics here. I feel like it really is all ages. It's all different kinds of people, and I love that. And I think it definitely just brings the Bay Area to life for sure.
Now, the festival wraps up today with the Wu-Tang Clan and the Red Hot Chili Peppers. You can still get a ticket. We have all the information on our website at KPIX.com.
I am Rebecca, and I am 9 years old.
There was a cultural celebration in San Francisco's Soma neighborhood. People came out to Victoria Manuela Dreyfus Park. It's named after Vicki Dreyfus, who won gold medals for both the 10-meter platform and 3-meter springboard at the 1948 Olympics. She was born in San Francisco and took swimming lessons as a 10-year-old at the Red Cross. Saturday's event, the Our Place in the Park Festival, promoted Filipino art and culture. Across the Bay Area, a number of events this Memorial Day weekend are honoring the men and women who died in service to our country. Boy Scouts, veterans, and other community groups place flags on the graves of soldiers at the Golden Gate National Cemetery in San Francisco's Presidio. And in San Jose, Boy Scouts also placed thousands of flags at individual graves at Oak Hill Cemetery.
We're honoring them through, putting flags on their graves to say, hey, we appreciate what you did, and you gave up your life for us, and that's what keeping democracy and freedom.
Oak Hill Cemetery will hold a special observance tomorrow, as will the National Cemetery. In Alameda, ceremonies are planned for Memorial Day aboard the USS Hornet. Well, this weekend is expected to be one of the busiest travel times that we've seen in years. AAA predicts a total of 37 million Americans are traveling at least 50 miles from their home this weekend. That's 2 million more than just last year, but still below pre-pandemic levels. The drivers are saving a little bit of money at the pump. Gas prices are down about $1 compared to this time last year, but airfare is up roughly 3% and hotel prices are up 3.5%.
We're seeing high demand in travel, and with that, we're seeing high prices. So people should expect to pay more for their travel than they have in even the past couple of years.
Here in the Bay Area, BART is still struggling to recover from the pandemic. The transit agency says major service cuts are coming unless the state steps up with some sort of subsidy. John Ramos has more.
Now that the pandemic has subsided, the freeways are pretty much back to normal, but BART ridership is still way down, and that has BART officials sounding an alarm. But it's also raising questions about how the agency is operated. Throughout this holiday weekend, BART is operating a bus bridge between the Orinda and Rockridge stations as they continue with their program to replace aging tracks. That's only a minor inconvenience since the pandemic, with ridership only about 39% of what it once was.
Not having to commute, they don't need to get on BART. It's just not a necessity.
But it's a huge problem for BART. The reduced ridership is only covering about a quarter of the cost to operate the system, and it's only surviving because of federal emergency funding that will soon run out. So BART put out an apocalyptic statement warning that without immediate help from the state, riders could see trains only once an hour, no trains on weekends or after 9 p.m. on weeknights, reduced service to the airports, some station closures, and entire lines potentially shuttered. It's a scary situation, but BART board member Deborah Allen says the agency isn't acting like it.
So there isn't any real effort being made, in my opinion, to look for efficiencies.
Despite the doomsday predictions, BART is considering an 8% increase in its spending for next year. Allen says the agency did not decrease spending at all during the pandemic, and she's angered other board members by suggesting that the agency look for ways to trim its expenses. Allen was quickly shut down when she requested they explore the possibility of a 10% cut.
I will say I do not support staff taking the time to look at a 10% cut across the board for operations.
Absolutely not. I don't support an effort to prepare a 10% cut.
I don't think that we can just keep going along saying more money, please, to the taxpayers. At some point, we have to figure out how to bring this thing under control.
But with the state facing a deficit of tens of billions of dollars, it might be a hard sell to ask for money to fully maintain a train system that's having a hard time getting people to ride. Assemblyman Tim Grayson offered a statement saying, "While I continue to support BART's efforts to remain in service, I am concerned that a bailout without greater accountability and major improvements in safety and reliability will do nothing to increase ridership. At the end of the day, there is no action the legislature can take that will force people to use BART." But as much as some people may try to avoid using BART, they still can't envision it not being there.
We need it. We definitely need it. I mean, that's not even a question, But yeah. I cannot imagine, not having BART, you know, it could be like it can affect us all.
It already is affecting us all in the pocketbook. But if the legislature is willing to save BART from a fiscal cliff, they may have to ask them to first take their foot off the accelerator.
BART is asking state lawmakers for help as elected officials prepare a ballot measure that would increase taxes. In the nation's capital, negotiators have reached a deal to raise the government's debt limit and avoid a default. House Speaker Kevin McCarthy says there is now, quote, an agreement in principle, but it still must clear Congress with little time to spare. We get more details from CBS reporter Bradley Blackburn.
We have come to an agreement in principle.
At the Capitol late Saturday night, House Speaker Kevin McCarthy described the deal to raise the nation's debt limit with just days to go until default.
That's historic reductions in spending, consequential reforms that will lift people out of poverty into the workforce, rein in government overreach. There are no new taxes, no new government programs.
President Biden released a statement calling it an important step forward that reduces spending while protecting critical programs for working people. The text of the bill still has to be finalized, but CBS News has learned it would raise the debt limit for 2 years and keep non-defense spending flat.
I expect to finish the writing of the bill, checking with the White House and speaking to the president again tomorrow afternoon, and then posting the text of it tomorrow, and then be voting on it on Wednesday.
But getting it through Congress could be tricky. Some Republicans wanted deeper cuts, while some Democrats are concerned the president gave too much ground, including on work requirements for some federal benefits.
What do you tell Democrats who say that they don't want you to bow on work requirements? What's your position?
I don't bow to anybody.
The agreement has to pass the House and Senate by June 5th. That's the date the Treasury now expects the government to run out of money to pay its bills.
In a statement, President Biden urged lawmakers in the House and Senate to pass the agreement right away. Now, Congress is currently in recess for the Memorial Day holiday. However, members can be called back for a vote.